I spent thousands on trading losses and courses, and I almost felt like giving up until I spent time reviewing all my trades and I found the three missing pieces that made trading feel impossible. In this video, I'll be sharing the three missing pieces that helped me start trading with confidence and grow my small trading account, along with some live examples so that you can take the lessons and apply them to your trading.
One of the most frustrating things as a trader is when you see your setup, everything lines up. For example, in this one, you have higher lows and higher highs, and then it gets above your key level, you enter the trade, and then it pushes higher and then stops you out. I know what you're thinking. Is that not the probability of the setup just not working out? And that's fine. You should always take your setups. I agree, yes, but sometimes there are some key things that you're missing on these trades, and that's why it did not work out. So after I found this happening to me, and I used to get frustrated a lot, I spent time reviewing my trades and I realized that I was missing three things that I'm going to show in this video, of course with chart examples as well. So by the end of this video, you're going to learn the important key level and area of interest a lot of traders ignore, and how to avoid low probability trades. So the ones that have the low probability of working out, because maybe some of the things I'm going to mention in this video are present, then you know that, okay, there's a lower chance of this working out. So maybe I would skip the trade, or I would consider reducing my position size if you still want to take the trade. When you have a small account, it's very important to be selective with the trades that you take. You don't have the luxury of somebody that can put $100,000, $50,000 into a position, into a trade when you're trading with $500 or $1,000. It's not the same game. So it's important to look for the trades that have the highest probability of working out, and then you can scale up your account. But protecting your downside is also important. So, what is missing? There are three things. Number one, most people already know this. They mention it. I see it on social media. Oh, we have a gap. We gap down. Yes, but what is a gap? For those that do not know, I'm going to go over it really quickly. There are two types of gaps. You have a gap down and a gap up. A gap up happens when, for example, the New York session closes. You have to mark that closing price. Just mark it. And then the next session, when the next New York session opens again at 9:30 Eastern Time, the price opens lower than the closing price. It has created a gap. You want to mark out this level. Yes, most gaps are filled within 48 hours, but sometimes they are not filled within 48 hours. So you always want to remember that it's there, because these levels are high liquidity levels that when price gravitates back into, it could form as resistance or support. Okay, and a gap up is the same thing but opposite. Price closes lower in the previous session, and then the next session opens up and the opening price is higher. So you want to always just pay attention to the closing price. I'll make another video telling you how to use the opening price as well. But in this video, we focus on the closing price because that's where the gap starts, right? Mark that level. The second thing is that we tend to ignore the higher time frame support and resistance levels, especially with the one candle setups where you're trading previous day's high on low retest or opening range strategies. You need to also remember your higher time frame key support and resistance levels. Number three is lack of displacement. This one has to do with your entry. When you have a clean uptrend, yes, price breaks above the key level and holds, but it does not convincingly break above, with force, strong, with a strong green candle, or if you're trading downside, like strong red candle towards the downside away from the level to show that yes, we are going above, we're traveling, we're moving higher. And when you take those setups, sometimes it tends to fail. So I'm going to then show you examples on TradingView going to go over the charts and show you 3 examples of these scenarios. And I want you to be able to also go back and look at the names that you trade and test this out for yourself as well. Something I like doing is to mark exactly the gap fill levels on the chart. So for example, here you just want to go to the closing price and mark it. Once you select the candle in TradingView here, at this point it will show you where the candle closed. So for example, this green candle here from the past closed at 203.70. So I put gap fill right there to show that that's a gap fill level because price closed there and the next session happened and it opened right here, almost like close to 4 point gap down, but it did not fill it yet, so I keep it on the chart. And now I'm going to go over to the 1 minute time frame because on this day here, Wednesday, we closed really strong, and I'm looking to now play the previous day's high break and retest if price can get above and hold. As you can see, we have a gap fill level here. What some people don't mark out is that they would not pay attention to this gap fill level and how close it is to their trade entry, and they'll still take the trade. So I'm going to show you how this plays out on the chart so that you can see for yourself. So now I'm going to play it. Key levels are showing, right? Exactly. So I'm looking for this previous day's high retest, break and retest. As you can see, we've pushed higher, looking nice. Let's see. We wait for our setup. I'm just gonna fast forward it a little bit so that we don't sit here for years. I know what I'm trying to show. Look at that. We got a nice close. See, we tested previous day's close. Strong displacement above the previous day's high. Boom. This is what I want to show. Right now, we have pushed into that gap fill. Now, this automatically becomes a lower probability break and retest of the previous day's high because we have reached the objective. We have met the objective of this name for the day. We have tagged that gap fill. So now, a lot of people, I know people that took this trade, and I was reviewing and I was like, I think this is one of those scenarios where we tagged the gap fill and automatically it just became a low probability trade. But watch, it sets up nicely afterwards. Look at this. If you had entered this trade right here, and what your stop loss is right there, just bring it closer so you can see, and you're targeting higher day. One red flag, your risk to reward is 0.94. One, like, it's not even up to 1. That's one red flag that this is another, like, not a great trade to take, because if you lose the trade, like, you're risking $100, you're gonna lose $100, but if you win, you're gonna make like $94 on the trade. It's not a great setup. And another thing is, it's already met the objective, so lower probability trade. So this is one where you just consider just skipping out on the trade, and instead you take the retest of the gap fill level if it breaks. Now I'm going to play out the rest of this trade to show you how it ended up playing out. So you just get stopped out. You have to have these levels on your chart so that you can decipher, okay, maybe I would sit out on this trade. If it then works out, and when it works out and it breaks through the gap fill, sometimes it just runs to the next target. Like, it will just move really fast. Next time you can just be like, okay, I would wait for this to happen and then I'll take it. That's a higher probability trade than taking this setup that occurred here. I hope that's clear. If you have any questions, leave a comment below and I'll answer it. For example, in this case, coming into the day, we're seeing a lot of selling on Tesla, and Tesla has broken below the previous day's low. Now, game plan is you're looking for probably price to do something like this, different scenarios, to open, pop up, reject it, and come down. Or you could also be looking for a scenario where price does this, comes, retests this level, and then come down. Or you could also be looking for the 5-minute opening range setup or 15-minute opening range setup, whatever sets up best and gives you the right criteria. But in this example, I just want to show you something that some people might neglect or skip because it's important. Like, this was a good trade, right? Let's play it out and see what happens and see how we're going to probably look to take a trade. And yeah, so see sellers right away off the bat, like price pushing down. Mind you, there's a higher time frame key level right here. So whatever setup you're taking, you have to make sure there's enough risk to reward because this will be your first target. And if price holds above this level, then it's probably low probability. Just look at this, right? You already have your 5-minute setup already, right? Like I'll mark the 5-minute low right here. You have your 5-minute low set up already. And in this case, you're not going to take the immediate retest because, like I said earlier, you want to wait for displacement. If you take immediate retest, there's a chance that price could just fake you out, stop you out right away, and then you have to then try and re-enter the trade. So taking immediate retest, sometimes it works when there's strong momentum and selling is, you could see it in the speed of the candles, like it moves very fast. But in this case, you've spent the first 5 minutes in a range. And for me, it's a sign already that this trade, maybe take smaller size. If you're going to take it, you have a big account that you can then cut your size maybe in half or whatever. But if you have a small account, you need to rethink and be like, okay, this looks like this is not really like an AA plus setup, because first 5 minutes indecision, it's not clear. But you broke the 5-minute opening range low, which I have marked right here, and you're seeing this immediate retest. You don't take it because you haven't had a convincing move down. So now let's continue to play it out and see where we're going to end up taking this trade. See, we've tagged this 394.58 level. You're seeing buys starting to come up. Look at that. Failure. Well, all this action is already a sign that you should probably maybe not take this trade or reduce your size. And I keep saying it. Okay, now you're probably gonna be like, you're seeing rejections, you're seeing a lot of wicks. Let me take it. This looks like a nice bear flag. Fine. You want to take the trade. You enter here. Where's your stop? Your stop is this previous candle, this high here, this swing high, right? Look at the next key level, which is where price is currently showing you it's holding. Your risk to reward is not even up to 1. That's number 1. Fine. You want to be stubborn, or you don't have that level on your chart, so your risk to you draw it down to 2. You want to see if it goes to 393. Yes, Tesla had a key level there, but okay, play. Let's see what happens. So you're probably going to get stopped out on this trade, the way it's moving. But again, we have to wait for a candle close. Let's see if we get a candle close above our stop. See how like this trade is taking forever to play out, dancing around, giving you hopes. Let's see. Now boom. Look at that. Just because you missed a key level on your chart. Learning to identify the higher time frame key levels, not like is very important, because yeah, you can learn this, mark the first 5 minute candle high and low, and then take the retest of the first. But if you're trading into higher time frame support and the risk to reward is not even up to 1 or 1.5, 1:1.5, why are you taking the trade? Because this is your risk to reward ratio right here for this trade, 0.65. So that's the second example using support levels. So with this example, you can see coming to the day, Tesla is holding above the previous day's close right here, and it's showing signs that we might maybe continue higher, because during the pre-market, right before the market opens, you're seeing that it's holding above the previous day's high. Ignore the time. It's showing 6:30. It's because of my time zone. I am on the West Coast. I'm 3 hours behind the New York time. So now I'm going to play it out, and we're going to look for entries on this trade. We'll be trading either the previous day's high retest or pre-market high retest. I don't like to trade pre-market high retest, to be honest, but previous day's high retest is what I would prefer to trade. So let's see if we get that. Strong open, and as you can see, this gap fill level was the magnet. It hit it right away. Now, does that mean you would not take the trade if you see a nice setup right here near the previous day's high? Would you take the trade? Put a comment below, yes or no. Would you take the trade if you see a nice setup here now that the gap fill level has been hit? Well, let's see how it plays out, and let's measure risk to reward. In everything we do, we try to balance and find a decent risk to reward and what we're going to do in that scenario. Okay, it's coming into the level. Boom. So right now you're seeing that big buyer stepped up as it approached the level, not quite retesting it yet. The fact that it's doing this kind of makes it lower probability, to be honest. Usually you want it quick in like 4 to 7 candles. There you go. You see the buyer stepped in. So now you look to enter this trade. Look at where your stop is and look at your target. 0.82 as like if you're targeting this gap fill level. But say, okay, let's just try and aim for a 1:1.5 or 1:2 is my standard. I'm not gonna reduce. Okay, let's get 1:2, which is closer to the next higher time frame target, which is realistic. So now let's play it out and see what we end up getting on this trade now that we are in the trade. You see, we hit the level, nice. We closed above it, nice push, great. I always encourage to take profit at high of day. That should be where you take your first scale. So assuming you adjust this to higher day, that's around 1:1.2. Not bad. Not bad, but not great. And this is why initially, if you're choosing to take this trade, you should size down, because the risk to reward is not the greatest. So you want, if you're going to lose, it's better you lose small on these kind of setups versus you just, okay, I'm going to take it and I'm going to take my regular size, and then you lose and it's a bigger loss than usual. Because usually when you win on these setups, it's not usually a big winner on something that looks like this. I'm just going to play it out. See, we end up just shopping and eventually coming back down past that entry and probably hitting stop loss at this point. Yeah, you hit the stop loss. So you can see that setups like this, you need to just use your judgment. If you have a small account and you're trading Tesla, reduce your size or don't or skip the trade. Nothing's going to happen to you if you skip the trade. There's always tomorrow, is what I have learned. So that's the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching to this point. If you watched to this point, I appreciate you. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next one.